Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we will be talking about the legendary Reliquaries, whatever the fuck. Yeah, Reliquaries. Yeah, definitely, it was a headache for sure, and I want to try and just, give you guys some tips and tricks, some things that maybe will help you out, maybe it won't, I don't know. But, yeah, if you like this kind of content, definitely be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and without further ado. So first off, I do want to talk about the equipment itself. Man, it is extremely powerful. The Genji glove itself does offer you some really good stats as far as attack and magic, HP. Defense is also really good, but the additional abilities is definitely like what makes this equipment so good. Things that we've never seen before as far as physical damage, magical damage, and then just outright damage limit up. These two pieces of equipment are just going to be must-haves for sure. We have the Blood Sword, which is going to give you a really decent attack stat, but the bigger thing here is definitely going to be the Man-Eater, the slash attack, and then the damage absorption for 15% of the damage dealt. These things are extremely unique, and I feel like it's going to be night and day as far as like PvP having these things for certain characters, especially with that magic stat. I do believe you can use this for Noctis. I think generally, well, this one's going to be a little bit more limited, but when it comes to the other one, I think just about everybody can pretty much use this. So yeah, I feel like they're going to be definitely a huge boost to anybody's account. So I really just wanted to start the video out kind of showing you the pieces of gear and just what they can do, and letting you know that it's definitely worth it. Now, as far as beating it, the best tips that I could really give you is that you're going to definitely need mono teams. Want to benefit from the mastery abilities as much as possible. Now, you could possibly do this with a rainbow team, but I mean, I just don't think it's really worth it, just for me personally. So starting out, I do want to say that when it comes down to the first stage, you're going to want to just beat that as fast as possible. You don't really want to go into any AP restoration or anything like that. It's not going to be necessary, and I feel like those are just going to be more needed on the second stage. But generally, I would just have to say outright, it's all about killing things as fast as possible. Now, when you make it to wave 6 through 7, I feel like party 1 is going to be extremely important just for taking out all those caterpillars. You want to try and chain them down, use DPSs that can benefit off those chains, and have units who have good mobility. Now, you're not probably going to beat 6 through 7, or more or less definitely not 7 with the first party, but I feel like if you can just get as many of those things killed as possible, it's really going to help you a lot. On that stage, don't be afraid to heal, do what you have to do. And for me personally, I didn't have to use my second party until I got to the 7th wave. And what worked for me was having Celis, or maybe you just have like, whatever tank you're using, go up to where Carbuncle and Miriel are, and have them pretty much aggro everybody like toward them. It would also really help to have a time mage, and it's going to be a huge discrepancy if you're trying to do this on auto versus manual, because if you're doing this on auto, 9 times out of 10, your time mage is just going to try and make your tank as fast as possible. And you really don't want to do that. That is counterproductive. You really need your DPSs to be doing everything as fast as possible. So after your tank aggros Carbuncle and Miriel, you're going to need your tank to move over, more so toward the side of that pillar that they're going to be standing on. That way they're aggroing those paladins to use Taunting Blade or whatever it is on your tank. Keep in mind, you're also going to want to keep your DPSs and your time mage all around that pillar. And keep your time mage focused on a DPS, making sure that they're getting their buffs off. Specifically for me, when using Perrine, she has a means of giving herself AP restoration that's already in her kit without the use of a TMR. So I was pretty much buffing her, moving her up, and I would have Aerith quicken her just so she can go into her kit, start dealing that damage out, and having everybody else follow suit. I would say in order, I killed the Carbuncle first, killed Miriel, then I focused on the Paladins last. So when you make it to the final stage, the biggest tip that I can give you is going to be your Espers. You really don't want to use any of your Espers that match your mono team on any stage besides the last. This is going to be extremely important. This is going to be where you're getting all your buffs from. And specifically for me, like even though I was fighting against Europa within that first wave on that last stage, it really didn't matter. I didn't feel like I was at any kind of disadvantage because I'm getting such a huge buff from the Espers that I was using. So if you feel like maybe the enemy Espers are just kind of taking your damage, you have to really think. I wasn't even using like full 120s. And on top of that, nobody else is 140 besides my support. So this is extremely doable. I wouldn't say for everybody, but it is still doable for people who at least have 2 mono teams that are 120. As far as any other Esper, don't be afraid to use them on previous stages. It's not really going to be that big of a deal. Just make sure you're managing your AP right, and you should be really good to go. Having units that can perform slow is also going to pretty much help. That's why time mages are just going to have a huge advantage. Even a free-to-play unit like Titus having quick hit and jet shot are just things that are going to be extremely important. Lowering defense, being able to lower CT or agility is also going to be really important. And that's all I really have to say about it, man. It was definitely a headache. It took me a few hours to beat it, but I definitely wanted to try and share, you know, some tips and just some things that I had to figure out. So hopefully this video does help somebody out there. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Take it easy.